welcome to the Dropship Podcast, another Tactical Tuesday episode, and I'm excited for this one. It is one of my favorite topics to talk about in all of high-ticket dropshipping. In fact, so much so, I'm going to let John just talk for a couple seconds because I have a feeling I'm not going to give him a single second to speak the rest of the show. So, John, do you want to say hi to the audience before I rant about this stuff?
Hey guys, thanks for being here. And yeah, I think this is like a fun episode. I like this one. We're going to be talking about credit cards, rewards, points, and really, this is like really one of the cool things about high-ticket dropshipping. I think like one of the cool little things you can do in your business to get an extra bit out of it for you, and it can be quite a decent bit as well. I think I'm going to say, particularly if you're in the US, this stuff does work a bit better in the US than it does in, say, Australia, where I am, or something like that. Not to say that it doesn't work here, but there's definitely, I think, a few more options on the table here if you're in the US market, which most of our listeners are at this point. So yeah, this is fun. This is good. And I know you love it, Benny. I know you love it. You always get excited when we talk about this stuff. For sure.
I do love it. Yeah. I feel bad for the international folk. Anyone I talk to in Canada, in Australia, in the UK, no one has the type of reward systems we have in America because no one consumes the way we do in America, right? We are encouraged to rack up debt and buy things. And boy, are we good at it. So you can use this to your advantage. So the first time it popped onto my radar, I had heard some people talking about it way back in the day on some podcasts randomly. And then I spoke with Justin Cook. He's one of the co-founders of Empire Flippers, empireflippers.com, where you can go find some dropshipping businesses for sale if you're interested. And he told me he had people on his list or that he was in contact with who were interested in buying dropshipping businesses that weren't profitable, that were just break even, which is honestly, if you're listening to this, you can create a break even dropshipping. I guarantee it. It's not that difficult to break even on this stuff. And they were interested because they would get the credit card rewards from running all the ads and buying the products. And they didn't care if the business made money. They just wanted to be able to fly for free in first class and, have some tax-free dollars coming from Capital One as well. And so I was kind of blown away by that. I haven't met one of these folks. So maybe Justin Cook was just full of shit that day back in whatever it was, 2015. But it wouldn't shock me. I've personally become, addicted to this process because it's, all right, here's how it all began for me. So I was going to a place to meet John Warren. Actually, we were going to this conference together, and I didn't have a seat. I could barely afford to pay for the ticket at that time, so I bought a ticket. It was not standby, but I just didn't have a seat, and I'm standing up at the front. If you met me in person, I'm like 6'3", 300 plus pounds. I'm a big boy, and I was wearing, as I normally do, just mesh shorts and a t-shirt, just something relaxing. And I remember I was having like leg issues at the time. So I had like not TED stockings, but like compression socks on. So I know I look like a weirdo. And I'm just standing by the counter, wearing my headphones, just waiting for a ticket. And the lady walks over and she hands me a ticket and just smiles and walks away. And I look at it and it says first class. So I walk up and I'm like, ma'am, you made a mistake. Like clearly you made a mistake. And she's like, no, have a great flight. And so I get on the flight, I walk in. First off, I sit next to a lady who she looks at me and goes, like audibly. And I get in the seat and I sit next to her and I'm just, I'm already feeling like, thanks a lot, lady. I'm feeling, pretty shitty, whatever. And I just start, at that time I was trying to get my pet products rolling on Amazon. So I opened up Amazon Seller Central and I started tweaking some stuff in there and just like working on that while I was on the plane, enjoying being in this seat that I actually fit into for a change. And she leans over and she's like, oh, you know how to do that internet thing? And I was just like, yeah, if I do. And she's like, well, I own a brand of whatever. And it turns out to be this lady who sells solar ovens that I ended up connecting John with. And I believe John helps her sell solar ovens in Australia. A weird coincidence. But like by the end of that flight, I was like, holy shit, I belong up here. What am I, I might not be dressing the part, which who gives a shit? The new rich don't dress that way anyway, right? But I belong up here. I get to Arizona where I have to take the rest of the flight to Hawaii. I did not get upgraded for that flight. I end up sitting next to Corey, somehow in the row with Corey Eckert and his wife, who his wife did exactly what that lady did and was like, Corey, you're taking the middle seat. So she didn't want to sit next to me being a giant either. We're on a 7-hour flight in coach, bundled into that row, no internet on this flight to Hawaii. It was brutal. Anyway. And I just, I took some notes on the flight. And when I got to Hawaii, and I was just like, I belong up there. I'm never going back. How do I solve this? And up to that point, I'd been using whatever credit cards I could to make this stuff work. Right? I didn't have any allocated credit cards. It was just like, if there's room on this one, I'm going to use it. Right? If you remember my story, I was $40,000 in debt back then. So every credit card I had was pretty maxed out, and anyone you get in the mail is like $1,000 with a 30% APR. So I didn't have this figured out back then. And somewhere along the line, I met Alan Walton through E-commerce Fuel, or I heard him on a podcast, and really started deep diving into this credit cards rewards thing, and was like, oh, this is my path to never, ever sitting in the back of the plane ever again. Spoiler alert, I haven't. One flight where I had the only flight option was Southwest. I'll tell you that story too. So I made sure I was at the front of the line so I could pick my seat. I get on there. I'm in the front row. There's a nice lady takes the window seat. Two gentlemen take this side, window and aisle, and I take the aisle, right? And everyone comes in. They look at those two dudes, and then they look over at me and go, oh, and then just walk by. And I'm just like, God damn it, this is happening again. Those two dudes, creepy dudes. They're like, please be a hot chick, please be a hot chick, please be. And I'm like, come on, man, you guys can't be saying this stuff out loud. That's not cool. Finally, a nice young lady sits next to me. I put one cheek on the seat, one cheek out in the aisle. And thankfully, the nice stewardess would like walk around me to get everyone whatever they needed. It's a short flight from Orlando to New Orleans. Again, never doing that again. Like, it's tough being a giant gentleman, believe me. It's got its pros. Don't get me wrong. It's got its pros. I'll leave it at that. It's got its pros. But it also sucks. And so since then, since meeting Alan, I really talked to how do I optimize this stuff? And it comes down to, if you're in the US, it's just two credit cards. Simply, you can go look at Chase, you can go look at some other things, but it comes down to two credit cards. It comes down to the Amex Gold and the Capital One credit card. And we have both of these links in the show notes. If you'd like to use our links, it's dropshipbreakthrough.com/Amex, dropshipbreakthrough.com/Capital One. They'll give you a nice little special deal by clicking through our link. One of them is pretty awesome, actually. They give you like over $1,000 if you spend like $5,000 in the first 3 months. Yeah, definitely sign up through those links. All right, so here's how you're going to want to do this, right? There's different categories of your spend when you're drop shipping. You're going to have your ad spend for basically Google Shopping and Facebook remarketing and Bing. And that's really about it for advertising, at least in the beginning. And then on the other side of things, you're going to have your cost of goods. So I'm selling, I'm sitting at an Apex standing desk right now. So if I sell this Apex standing desk, let's just imagine it's round numbers, $1,000, and I need to go to Apex, have them charge my card on file for whatever, $700, right, and ship it to you, right? So $700 went on my Capital One. I'm going to get 2% of that back, which I don't do public math, but my computer does. I would make $14 in my Capital One account on that. And you might say that's not much. But now let's think about if we ramp this up to $70,000 a month. That's $1,400 every single month in a rebate from Capital One. They are very vehement that this is a rebate. They don't send you any tax forms because this should be tax-free money as in the form of a rebate. On the other side of that, you're spending money on Google, and it's only going to get more and more and more and more expensive, and not per product, but it's just you're going to spend more. As you grow and grow and grow, you're going to spend more, right? So you can, with the Amex Gold, get 4 times your points on your first $150,000 in ad spend, which, believe me, you can achieve that rather quickly through dropshipping. And maybe that number seems large to you, but again, think about the return you're getting on that. So they'll give you 4x on your first $150,000 on your Google Shopping spend, your Facebook marketing, remarketing, your Bing, things like that. And then if you somehow reach that, and let's say you spend $30,000 a month on ads, which is totally reasonable for a 7-figure business, you can just call them and say, I think I need another card, same business name, and they'll just send you another card that still gives you 4x points on the next 150. And I believe you can get up to like 8 cards. I know I have quite a few here. And so both sides of the coin here, whether you're acquiring the customer or whether you're paying for the cost of goods, you're reaping the benefits of the rewards. So Capital One is going to give you that 2% cash back on all of your cost of goods. And then your cost to acquire customers is going to give you 4 times points. And this is where the big bang for your bucks is. And back to that flight discussion, if I spend $10,000, I'm going to get 40,000 in points that month on my Amex. Now, I can go through their portal and book flights and pay, a little extra. They basically use, I want to say Orbit's API to pull that in and then give you points. Or alternatively, I live right by Minneapolis, St. Paul, which is a Delta hub. And so I transfer all my points out of Amex into Delta Sky Miles. And then I book in Delta Sky Miles where I'll get an even better deal. Now, gas prices are way up right now, so it's a little higher than it used to be. But typically, pre-war in Ukraine, gas prices, I could get a round-trip flight pretty much anywhere in the country for 40 to 50,000 miles. So if I'm going to spend $10,000 a month every month, I'm basically getting a round-trip flight every single month. And so for what that looks like in my family is my ability to take myself, my wife, on a trip anywhere we want to, always in first class. She has somehow convinced me to let our twins and the baby sit up there too. So sometimes that means the twins and the baby sit up there as well. I'm not sure how to feel about that. Maybe that's a different conversation, John.
Let's go back a step. If they're not sitting with you, where are they sitting? Are you suggesting you would take a plane flight and not sit with your kids? Are you suggesting that?
Here's what I'm suggesting, John. If it wasn't a baby, first off, the baby needs its own seat now at this point, right? If it wasn't a baby, if it was like, let's say we had 3 7-year-olds, let's say we had triplets, I would say mom and I should sit in the last row first class, and those 3 should sit in the first row of Comfort Plus. I think that's totally normal. That also fits the numbers, right? We wouldn't want to do 2, 2, and 1, and somebody has to sit next to a stranger. I wouldn't want to do that to one of those children. I want to sit next to my wife. I don't know. We've had this argument. I've talked to a few friends. My friend Jeff. Hopefully, we can get him on Freedom Friday. And Jeff said, just fucking buy them seats. He's like, they're never going to understand how great they have it up there until they're older. But you better tell them every single flight why this is amazing. Why this is something that they get to do and other kids don't get to do, and really try to explain that this is an amazing opportunity and that we've worked very hard for this. And so please don't take this for granted. But he said, just buy them every single time. What do you do, John? You tell me. I know you travel a little bit with your family. Are you guys car rides? Are you plane rides?
Not as much as you used to, but at the moment. No, yeah. I mean, wherever I sit, the kids sit. That's the rule. Some airlines
so you're all in coach.
Some airlines won't
right on the bulkhead.
Won't just put minors sitting next to random people either, to be honest.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say they wouldn't let them in first class, and I was like, that's an Australian thing for sure.
No, it's not. No. So
here's where I worry, right? So the first flight we ever took them on, it was me in first class in the front row, back row, and then my wife and the twins, and she's holding the baby in Comfort Plus. And those kids, have you ever seen a kid play video games on a screen, dude? It's like, so he's just hammering the screen on this guy in first class. And I'm like, oh, this is what I was worried about, right? Like, that guy doesn't deserve this behind him. And so, I'm leaning back and I'm like trying to scold him. And then the guy realizes he's a kid and he's just like, oh, don't worry about it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking worrying about it, man. This dude's just hammering the headrest on your seat. So then we moved him up to the first row, and that seemed to work a little bit better. Look, the reality is when you're 7, 8 years old, we can just hand them a tablet and they're gone. Like, they don't even know we exist at that point, right? If you just put a screen in front of them. So you're right. I mean, that's what we've been doing lately. It's a little weird buying a seat for a 1-year-old, strapping him in his car seat and throwing him up in first. It's a little weird, but you're right. No, look, I want to do what's best. And at this point, I bring in so many rewards that I don't even think about it, right? And so this is where I want everyone to get to. In the beginning, you'll be able to buy some nice little trips for you and your significant other, or just you yourself, whatever you travel. But eventually, I want you to get to a point where you're just overflowing with points and it doesn't matter, because that's what I've been able to do. I've never looked back. I'm never going back to coach ever. Like, I just won't. And I don't think anybody should. Like, treat yourself. You do deserve this, and go build a business that allows you to do whatever the fuck you want. That's the truth.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this is a great thing you can do. Once again, I mean, if it's not something, if you think you're going to have trouble getting a credit card or something like that, don't let it be something that holds you up from getting started, right? It's not necessary. At some point, you'll be able to do it. And when you can do it, right? And I would say as well, just, obviously we've talked a lot here about how you might do things in the US and, the cards you should use and that sort of thing. If you're outside of the US, no, those same things aren't available to you, but there are still reward systems that are available to you, and you can still use them. So if you're in Australia, for example, Amex Platinum cards, as far as my experience goes, is always given the best deal. So that's what I would recommend here. If you're in the UK, somewhere like that, you're going to have similar things probably to what we have here. So just go and look around, see what the best deal is. But even if you're not you're not going to get the same sort of cashback options that you might get in the US, for example, but it's still going to add up. And I still get free flights and all of that from putting business expenses on cars. And, so it's definitely worth it. Go and do it for sure. It's a great little extra advantage that you can get out of your business. And, Ben talked about an example that was scaled up a little bit. Well, you can scale that up even further. I've been part of businesses that put, $500,000 a month plus in product purchases. So do the maths. That's insane.
Yeah, that adds up way faster than you think. And I know we mentioned on a previous show, where does this go, right? So first, I want to give you a couple little tips, maybe share some experiences, and then tell you what I do, right? Some experiences I've been able to do, right? I have laid down in a seat on my way to Thailand and back in Delta One. Fantastic. I would recommend that for everyone. That's way better than sitting for a 24-hour flight. I've been up front on a flight to China, where, by the way, the whole plane rushes to the front in China. Did you know that? The moment you touch down, it's not even like we're at the gate, ding. It's like you touch down, the whole fucking plane rushes. It's weird. So thank God I was already up there anyway. And then, just first class everywhere in the United States, and often, right? Just whenever I want to go somewhere, I have the points to go there. Here's a couple little tips. So one I found was, so your best bang for your buck is like pulling it out to an airline, whether it's American or United or Delta. I don't care. I'm gonna share you my experience with Delta. If I pull it into Delta Sky Miles, let's just say a flight costs me 60,000 Delta Sky Miles. If I book that inside of Amex's thing, it'll probably cost me 75 maybe. And here's where I want you to do the math. Number one, do you have enough points where that doesn't matter? I would book them inside of Amex only because those actually count towards your status. So I flew so much in my first year with this, which was the year before COVID, where I really flew a lot. I flew, our company was in North Carolina, so I would go there once a month, and I booked them all in there because it was so close points wise, and we had so many, it didn't matter, that I became a platinum medallion member. And that actually comes with a lot of perks. I can change my flights whenever I want to for absolutely free. I get a special phone number to call, so I don't sit on hold for 4 hours. And I get a nice little greeting of like, first off, they go, every fucking time. And then they go, oh, thank you, Mr. Knegendorf, for your platinum status. Welcome aboard. I'm just like, yeah, no shit. So I would encourage you to like see if the arbitrage is there for you to like actually level up inside your point system. And if you're just wrecking in points, do that. And then, how do I use these things? I think I mentioned on the other call, the Capital One just kind of adds up and adds up and adds up. I know a lot of people, they utilize this for their business. And I would tell you, like, why use tax-free dollars to grow your business? If you truly believe it, again, talk to your CPA. Capital One believes this is tax-free money. This is rebate money. Your business is going to eat every fucking dollar that you give it. Every dollar. If you say, I need to get this done, you'll never run out of things to get that. It's the same with your time. Whatever time you allot for your business will fill it. So I encourage you to not allow your business to eat all of your money and go use this money to reward yourself. Go have fun. So I use mine, as I mentioned on the other show, every few months. I just need a break. I like to go to Vegas and throw some money on the tables. I like to throw some dice around. That's it. I'll use some miles to fly down there, stay there for a couple days, throw some dice around, have a good time. That's one way I like to just get away in general every couple of months, just like take a mental break. And so I would encourage you to use this money for something for you, whatever that is for you, whether it's go to Vegas and be a degenerate like me, or like go rent a cabin on the lake and go fishing, or whatever it is for you. Like, use this money to actually like reward yourself. Like, this journey is never going to end. And so like every single second, enjoy the moment you're in. Don't wait till you get there to be happy. Be happy right fucking now. That's what this journey is. The moment you decide I'm going to go on this journey for the rest of my life, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, you've won. You've already won. This is the fun. So try to enjoy that money. Like, do something special with it. Whatever that means to you. What does that mean to you, John? Is there a way that you like to use these rewards to reward yourself in a specific way?
Yeah, look, I mean, mostly it's been, just flights wise. I probably have a lot that I'm not using at the moment because we just haven't used flights or anything like that much, obviously, for a few years now, a couple of years. But yeah, just getting away, taking the kids away somewhere, having fun. And I think you're absolutely right. You do have to find ways as you go through the journey to reward yourself along the way. And this does provide a really easy and clean way to do that. It's not like taking money out of like your your regular business finances, to do that. This is like a side thing. This is like a side. I think of it like a side thing. I totally don't think of it as part of my business, financial system. I think this is more of a personal benefit, even though it comes from your business. That's how I treat it as well. Because you're right, it's a long journey, right? There's no end. You don't get the pot of gold at the end. The pot of gold comes in bits along the way, constantly. Do you know what I mean? And the journey's the end goal for me. I'm not getting off anytime soon, so why wait?
I would encourage you to have fun with this, right? Like on the business side of things, this is the tip of the iceberg, right? Just optimizing the way these credit cards can reward you. In America, at least, the government wants to give you every tax break possible in order for you to grow your business. And so utilize that. All of these, people call them tricks or hacks or whatever. The U.S. government wants you to have the biggest business possible so you can employ more people, so you can help change more lives. So utilize all of these factors, and credit card rewards is just one of them that you can really optimize your life around which you can optimize your life. Sorry, working on that. And then, you can do the same thing in your personal life. I use personally the Coinbase card, which gives 4% back in some random cryptocurrency. Hopefully they're not, labeled security sometime soon and that all goes away. But if you can get 2%, there's a Citi card with 2% back. There's the Coinbase card has 4%. There's quite a few others that give Bitcoin back or give cash back or whatever. Optimize every area of this in your life. If you're going to spend this money anyway, why not be rewarded for doing so? And maybe this takes you down a path of where you need to understand your own money problems and issues you have with this or preconceived notions. But I promise you, debt is a good thing if you use it properly. And in your business, you have all of these expenses anyway, right? If you, as John said, if you do $1 million a month, if you're an 8-figure business, 60% of that, 70% of that is going to be your cost of goods. Why not get rewarded for spending $600,000, $700,000 on a Capital One card rather than just using the money from your bank to pay the same exact thing? I love credit card rewards. I could geek out about it forever, and maybe we should get our friend Alan Walton on here to really get nerdy. He runs Fly Guy. I don't even think he has a website. He just has concierge clients where you tell him where you want to go, generally what time you want to go, what credit card you have, and he'll hook you up. And he gets flights, crazy flight, 60, 70,000 miles to round trip on Etihad, somewhere international. He finds really, really good deals. Yeah,
we should get him on sometime for sure.
Well, I hope all of you take the time to think about this in your business and definitely sign up through our links. I know Capital One gives a really special deal, and Amex as well gives a special deal. So dropshipbreakthrough.com/Capital One, dropshipbreakthrough.com/Amex. I think dropshipbreakthrough.com/Coinbase too, if you want to try that card out. But try all these out, implement them in your business and see what kind of results you can get and what kind of lifestyle you can now live thanks to just operating your business.